Luckily now we're not starting with a blank canvas because the 2 series have gone before, but because the characters have moved on, they're in a different environment now. They're in bigger places, they're in more opulent places, and so the direction and the style moves along with it.
The Peakies have moved up in the world, you know. They now have a huge country pile. It was evolution, not revolution. We wanted to evolve, but not detach from that Peaky style, which our fans love so much and that we love so much. And we want to be true to the ethos of the Peakies, but at the same time, just take everything a step further and build it up a little.
The family is very, very wealthy. He's got a big, big house, and they've all got big houses now. They've all got fancy cars. And so materially, they're doing very well. Emotionally, that's another question, I suppose.
They've got more money, and therefore they've moved into the upper echelons of British society. So you move into different locations and you move into a different world, but you have people that cannot escape their background, or can they?
Arrow House, which is the new stately home for the Peakies. It's like he's bought his own gypsy kingdom, you know. He can camp out in the Vado wagons and no one's ever going to move him on. Johnny Dogs can come over and he can camp out. But at the same time, we didn't want it to feel like other period shows. It had to be a Peaky Blinders country house. So it had to have an element of rock and roll, it had to have an element of gypsy, it had to have an element of nouveau riche, it had to have all these different facets to it. And our production designer, Richard Bullock, felt very strongly about that.
The first thing we looked at when we started was the new Shelby home. We kind of kept the brief reasonably open to start off with and just went and looked at what was out there. And we've ended up with a composite. The main exterior and ground floor interiors are here at Arley Hall, which has been great. The kitchens are at Tatton Park, and the upstairs is at Croxteth Hall. I think it's worked out well.
Richard did a lot of great work in kind of the dressing and the painting and the colour palettes, but the bricks and mortar felt very Peaky. It felt right.
We're filming in these beautiful big period houses, and the scale just feels bigger and it's richer, it's wealthier, the colours are deeper, you know, it's less smoky, it's more grand. But it's not in the way that a sort of classic period drama, you know, you're in the big library and you have a big dinner scene. It's all that, but then it's done with the Peaky Blinders swagger, and it's sort of rock and roll, and it's got all the guts that the Peakies have. It's like having these sort of cowboys in the Downton Abbey dining room. That's so exciting.
It has such a cinematic feel, and it's really, the sets are bigger, you know, the cast is bigger. There's a journey that you go on with all of them that really makes you feel like you are part of this world.
We wanted to see a difference in the 2 years. For me, that's been done and it's been executed really well. I think the docks was a brilliant set. It wasn't originally scripted to be in a warehouse like that. It made it much more exciting. It was cold, it was dark, it was exactly what the scene was kind of, it posed the right feeling.
I always feel like we feel out of place. We look out of place there because it's not really our world.
Yeah, that's true.
So we've just jumped into it.
The locations are so beautiful. It's a far cry from the garrison in season 1. It feels like we're entering new territory, but it's kind of fun to see how they squirm sometimes in these environments.
We want to keep this world because it works and people like it, and we want to maintain the look of it, the mood of it, the feel of it. Always, it's an evolution rather than revolution.